Hi guys! Welcome back to our channel Make That Change, where Anastasia and I talk about immigration to Canada, as well as how to build your new life in Canada and become successful in the new environment. We have an important topic to discuss today because we've been getting many messages regarding refugee status in Canada. In this video, we will walk through the main steps in the process of getting your permanent residency in Canada as a refugee, and we will explain where to start. Before we begin, I have to highlight that I'm not an immigration lawyer, and I cannot advise you on your particular case, and I cannot answer your specific questions. But I did my research on the subject, and I will do my best to share information in an accessible way. This video is a short guide for those who don't know where to start and they need help to escape their home country due to some danger. Another important point would be to mention that getting a refugee status is not an easy way to move to Canada. According to statistics, about 70% of applications for refugee status in Canada get rejected, so I do not recommend you to use it in lieu of other immigration programs that Canada has. And it's a very long and stressful process. And if you get caught lying, you will be deported from Canada or denied entry to Canada. As I did my research, I outlined the main steps of the process for you, so at least you know what to expect. I will share links to websites and resources where you can find more useful information and start your own research specific to your case. Let's dive into it. Today we will be referring to two main sources of information: United Nations Refugee Agency website and Government of Canada website. First of all, it's important to define who a refugee is and what's the difference between a refugee and an immigrant to Canada. An immigrant is a person who chooses to move to another country and become its permanent resident. Immigrants choose to move not because of a direct threat of persecution or death, but mainly to improve their lives by finding work or, in some cases, for education, family reunion or other reasons. Unlike refugees, who cannot safely return home, immigrants face no such impediment to return. Refugees, on the other hand, are defined and protected in international law. The 1951 Refugee Convention is a key legal document that defines a refugee as someone who is unable or unwilling to return to their country of origin, owing to a well-founded fear of being persecuted for reasons of race, religion, nationality, membership of a particular social group, or political opinion. This is important to understand, because if you want to claim a refugee status, you will have to prove it, and your proof will have to fall under this definition. Today, only about 14% of Canadian permanent residents are refugees. There are two types of refugees in Canada: outside Canada class and inside Canada class. Outside Canada class start their application abroad. It means you will have to be outside of your country of origin, or in other words, outside of the country you're seeking asylum from. So if you decide to go to another country's consulate or embassy inside your country, unfortunately you will not be able to claim asylum. Your first step would be to leave the country you feel in danger, any way you can. Next, once you are in another country, you will have to go to the United Nations Refugee Agency. A simple Google search will tell you the closest location. Nowadays, during COVID times, they likely accept applications via email as well. So I will leave the link to their website in the description box below. Please check it out for the most recent updates and how they operate. Once you apply for your refugee status, you will be thoroughly assessed. So be prepared to be scrutinized to prove the gravity of your situation. You will have to go through face-to-face interviews, and your ID will be confirmed using biometrics such as fingerprints and face recognition. Your travel history will be checked, as well as your criminal history. If everything goes well and your assessment is complete, you will be granted a refugee status and then referred to the Canadian government for the resettlement program. This is a stressful and lengthy process. If you are granted a refugee status and a temporary asylum by UN Refugee Agency, it still doesn't mean that you will get your permanent residency in Canada, since according to statistics, about 1/3 of applications get rejected. If your refugee status is denied by United Nations Refugee Agency, do not despair. You can still appeal. You will be provided reasons why you got rejected, so you can use this information to get prepared for your appeal. Now let's talk about how the Resettlement in Canada program works. So if you went through your assessment process successfully and you got your refugee status, now you can choose where you want to resettle. It doesn't have to be Canada. In fact, there are more than 20 countries offering resettlement plans. But if you choose Canada, you will have to go to Canadian Embassy or Consulate and apply for a Resettlement in Canada program. From there on, there are a few options how you can proceed. First option is called Government Assisted Refugee. If you are chosen by a Canadian government to be a government-assisted refugee, it means that Canadian government will be supporting you financially during your first year in Canada while you're settling down in your new environment. Second option to resettle is through a privately sponsored refugee program. If you have friends or family in Canada, they can gather in groups of 5 and they can sponsor you and support you financially during your first year in Canada. There are also churches and other institutions that offer refugee sponsorship in Canada, and I will drop some links in the description box below. Now let's talk about Inside Canada class. For this option, you have to be inside Canada, so the burden is on you how to cross the border and get to Canada in the first place. Inside Canada class or asylum seeker class can be tricky. When you come to Canada, you can claim asylum at the point of entry, which is either an airport or a land border, or you can do it later at a designated immigration office in Canada. I would strongly recommend you to hire an immigration consultant or a lawyer to help you with your application, because there is a strict criteria that you must suit to be able to claim asylum in Canada. When you apply through this program, get prepared to be extensively screened. Canada screens all foreign nationals coming to Canada to protect health, safety and security of Canadian society. Another important point to mention: if you decide to claim asylum at the point of entry, you will be under a very strict timeline. You will be given a limited amount of days to collect all the documents, prepare and submit your full application. It can be very stressful because you will be in a new country and you have a lot at stake. That's why I think it's very important to hire an immigration lawyer or consultant, someone who can help you with your documentation and prepare you for your hearing and submit your application. When you file your application for asylum, you will be given a document called an enforceable removal order. This document means that CBSA officers cannot initiate your removal order until your hearing is done. In other words, you won't be deported from Canada until the final decision on your application is made. So, as you may have guessed already, your next step would be to go through a hearing. You would have to take your time to make the perfect case, collect the right documents to support your case, and prepare for your hearing. To increase your chances of success, we recommend to bring a lawyer to help you navigate around the process. If the hearing outcome is successful, you can apply for your permanent residency in Canada. And if the outcome is negative, it means that Canadian government will have ruled that you are not considered to be a person in need of protection. If you have a lawyer, they will help you seek your next available option, such as an appeal or a judicial review. All of that will have to be done within a strict timeline, because if you got rejected, it means CBSA officers can initiate your removal order and you will have to leave the country. This was a brief overview of how refugee program works and what to expect from it. As you may have noticed, it's a stressful and very lengthy process. Thankfully, there are numerous organizations helping refugees to resettle in Canada, and I suggest you do your own research, as well as check the links in the description box below. Once again, I have to highlight that I'm not an immigration lawyer and I cannot advise you on your particular case. It means that I cannot answer your specific questions about whether your case would be successful or recommend you any particular steps in the process. Having said that, I left a bunch of useful links in the description box below, so please check it out, as well as links to official sources of information which you can use to start your own research and apply it to your specific case. And I'll ask you just one thing. Please share this video with someone who you think needs this information. And if you are a resettled refugee, please share your experience with our community in the comments below. We have a remarkable community engagement in our comments section, and we love seeing people helping each other any way they can. With all that said, please don't forget to gently tap the like button below if you found this video useful, and subscribe to our channel for more videos about immigration to Canada. See you in the next one. Take care, friends.